Welcome to a pretty good lock for its price. Here you see a 4-wheel combination disc lock that I got from eBay for €9, including shipping. It's a Chinese-made lock made by the company Kushan Lock, and the name of the lock is Tonyon. They gave it a rating 8 out of 10, and maybe that's a little bit too high, but I would say it's going into the right direction, at least for a combination lock. So, lock works in the following way. You can push the button, you can turn the button in order to open the lock or close the lock when the right code is entered, and if the wrong code is entered, of course, you're locked up. You can change the codes with the screw here on the back. When you turn the screw, it's in the... So first of all, you have to open the lock, then you can turn the screw, you can install the new code, turn back the screw, and your new code is active. Why do I consider this to be a good lock? First of all, the overall construction is pretty good. So it's all steel. It's more or less hardened. You can see my filing tests here, and I can repeat that. Maybe it could be harder, but I would also say that you would have a pretty hard time with a saw to cut through this lock. And the design of these disc locks is pretty clever, so it exposes only a little bit of the bolt or of the shackle, and when there are two chain elements are inside, it's even less space left for a bolt cutter to cut through this bolt here. So from the physical design, it's a pretty good lock. Now to the locking mechanism. It's a combination lock, and of course combination locks are prone to a decoding attack or to a feeler gauge attack. You can decode this lock with a pull picking method, and I will show you this just in a moment. But with a probe here I had no luck. I tested right and left of the wheels all the way around, but I couldn't find any gaps or anything which would indicate a gate. So I think that the design of this lock is done in a way that you cannot feel the gates with a thin probe like this. So that's pretty good. Yeah, decoding this lock with a pull picking method or the push picking method, push turning method is possible, although I don't consider this to be a practical problem, because you have to imagine that this lock hangs somewhere maybe downwards, and you have to push on the button really hard to get the wheels to bind. So you have to hold the lock somewhere like this with your hand, and when you push the button, you're actually turning the lock, so you have to grab the lock and hold it firmly in your hand and push the button. And you can see that I do this now in a comfortable position, but imagine this lock hanging somewhere. It's really hard to do, and you will need some time to get this lock decoded. So this is a very exhausting operation, so to speak. You could try to use your finger like so, but you would not get enough pressure on the button here. So under real world conditions, I think that decoding this lock is not very likely. Also, the design of the wheels is pretty clever. You can turn the wheels if they have no tension. If you have no tension on the button here, so that the wheels turn very smoothly, so that's not a problem. But if you have tension on the bolt, it's really hard, and you need to feel the resistance of the wheel while applying tension. So you have to use your fingernail, and that's also something that makes it really hard to decode this lock. And also you can see that when you push on the wheel to get more pressure on it, because you want to turn it, it goes down and you have even less space or even less contact area to turn it. So it's possible to decode it, and I will show it to you just now, but under real world conditions I would say this is not a practical problem. Alright, so let's do some decoding. That's the current code. I open up the lock, I turn it around, turn the screw to the change position, I change the code, make sure that every wheel is in a gate and not in between two gates. Now very important, first close the shackle, otherwise you have to decode it into the... now first turn the screw here to the operating position, now close the lock. If you do not close the lock and shuffle the wheels, you have to decode the lock into the closed state. So now the lock is closed, I can shuffle the wheels, the new code is installed and we don't know it. Okay, I turn it like this because this is more comfortable for me, although I have to grab it firmly in my hand and push hard, so you will do some temporary damage to your thumb and it hurts a little bit, but that's okay. So binding order is 1 through 4, so 1 is the first binder, it's the wheel that turns the hardest. And I can tell you that this lock has only true gates, so every wheel has just one true gate, no false gates. Okay, I push on the button, turn the first wheel, and I can tell you that you don't feel any difference between the numbers. So you will not be able to find the right gate on the first wheel with just turning the first wheel. What I can do in these kind of circumstances, I can see the impact the first wheel has on the second, because when the first wheel is in a true gate or is in a gate, the second wheel will start binding. So let's try to use this technique. I apply tension on the button, second wheel is loose. Oh, second wheel is binding now, so I believe 2 is the right number. I make a double check. Yeah, it's loose again, so 2 is the right number. And now comes the next pair, and for the next pair it doesn't work as easy as it worked for the first pair. And now the guesswork starts. So let's see. This turns medium. Same. More loosely. Not much difference, so this could be, no, it's loose here. Still loose. It's pretty hard to turn. Maybe 7 is the right number. So let's see. It's also loose here, maybe not. Oh, and it's open. So that was pure luck. Sometimes it takes a little bit more time. I think 9 and 5 are the right numbers. No, they are not. Maybe 8, maybe not. It was something in between. Maybe 4. Okay, I have to continue. It was open. I never had this kind of problem. I had it open, but now it requires some more effort. So let's see. No, it's not easily doable, so let's do it the hard way. It's loose, it's loose, it's loose. It's hard to turn, so maybe we are right. Okay, so finally got it open. It's 2605, and yeah, you've seen me decoding this in just a couple of minutes, but as I said, in a real world situation, this might be much more difficult. Okay, so that was my play on the four-wheel disc lock made by Kushan Lock. The name of the lock is Tonyon. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this little decoding session. Yeah, cheers and bye-bye.